All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Medicine Mondays. I am yours truly, Dr. Pierre, your favorite board certified internist, host of Medicine Mondays, Real Physician Reacts, as well as our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to both of them, Dr. Pierre's Health Checks. And I'm here to bring you a special guest. Of course, as you know, on the first of the month is more of our business slanted related episodes. And I'm just so excited to bring a special, she's like more like a celebrity it's so much, right? But like I just get to call her my wife, right? Maria Davis-Pierre, who is the CEO of Autism in Black. And we are going to be talking about our first experience at the Funnel Hacking Live event, right? Which has so many different emotions that we're just kind of bounce back and forth on today's episode. So, Maria, first of all, thank you for joining this episode of Medicine Mondays.
Thank you for having me. As you know, I'm excited to be here as usual.
So let's talk about Funnel Hacking Live, kind of the beginning process. So of course, this was my second time going to this conference. For those who may not know, Funnel Hacking Live is the conference put on by Clickfunnels, which is a software that I use a lot when I'm building my landing pages, when I'm building my sales funnels. Maria obviously uses it a lot as well too, as far as some of her campaigns. And this is my second year around, and this year I was able to convince Maria to join me, right? For a lot of different reasons. I wanted her to kind of experience, that environment, because it's one thing to kind of say like, hey, this is how the conference was going, but it's another thing to kind of be there. So Maria, first of all, let's kind of talk about kind of what your initial thoughts were of what Funnel Hacking Live was going to be before stepping there. Like when you heard I say, hey, let's go to this like marketing conference, what was your mindset?
I really did not know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a boring conference for one, and just talking about funnels and how to put them together. So my expectations were pretty low, even though you had talked it up a lot from your last year's experience, but we all know that you geek out over a lot of technology stuff. So I was just like,
that is true, guys. That is true. Like I always tell people, if it wasn't for medicine, I definitely would be doing something in kind of the tech related space. I just love everything about tech kind of things.
Mm-hmm. So I definitely was like, it's probably not going to be anything that I'm interested in, but I wanted us to have that experience together, especially since you are the largest part of the back end of Autism in Black. So let me go and see what you were talking about. But I really was not excited, I would say, in the beginning.
And for those who may know, again, my wife is the CEO of Autism Black, which is just a phenomenal organization that, and I like to, again, she kind of mentioned, like, I kind of play in the background. So a lot of the tech related things that she does, whether she's producing landing pages, whether she's doing webinars, like I kind of, even doing ads, right? Like I kind of do and kind of help on that back end and support of it. So I can tell you my thoughts for why I wanted her to come, because when I went the first time around, right? First of all, it was one of the I don't typically go to medicine related conferences, right? Like if I have to go for like license reasons, I go. But like every time I can get a chance to go to a different type of conference, especially business related, marketing related, like I try to just, see what's the, what's it like out there, right? And of course, as a physician, and I'm typically one of the fewer health related, content creators out there, right? Like we don't typically go to those types of spaces. So when I went the first time around, it was, again, I was almost shell shocked. One, to kind of see how many entrepreneurs were out there, and then the other, really to see how relatable a lot of these entrepreneurs were, right? And again, a lot of times there were people I saw on message boards, there's people I saw in Facebook groups, but actually getting to see them kind of face to face was definitely an eye-opening experience, which is why I wanted to bring my wife on to kind of, experience that with me more, so she can kind of understand, the back end of how her business kind of runs and flows.
Yeah, and he's being very modest by saying he does some of the back end work. He does it all. He does all the ads. He does all my funnels. He does all of it. So he's being very modest in saying that. So he really is the engine behind Autism in Black running. So, I went to this conference because he was excited about it, and I wanted to spend time with him. And then getting there, the experience was completely different.
Yes.
Then it was like, okay, I see why you came back the way you did.
So give the audience a little bit of what that first day was like just kind of showing up to the first session, just kind of being there. What kind of give them a little rundown of what Funnel Hacking Live was.
Well, the energy is extremely hype. They hype you up from the time that before they even open the doors. Then once they open the doors, it is like getting you ready, like preparing you for not only a lot of learning, but also hyping you up for where your business is going to go. So the energy in there just felt so good. So it was like, okay, well, this is something different. This is I can do this. So first day was amazing. They had phenomenal speakers, and first day got my gears going. Okay, this is what we need to do with Autism in Black. This is where Autism in Black is going, and that's how.
It's so funny. Like for those who know her, kind of especially before this conference, like she always kind of knew like, all right, this is what we kind of need to do. Our business was just kind of more like, yeah, kind of with the motions. And like I can tell you, like just the first day, she was like, okay, like we need to do A, B, C, D. Just like it was just amount of information that she was able to kind of soak up just on the first day. Like I was hyped with her. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, let's go, let's run it.
We started changing a lot of things. We started going right onto the website. On my website, started updating things. Funnels have been updated. I mean, a lot has changed in just the week since we've been at the conference. It was starting right there doing implementation. And usually that is very hard for me. I have ADHD, and I am anything can distract me. But this conference, for some reason, implementation was extremely easy for me to start doing.
And what was interesting, especially for those who may be kind of watching and wondering, like, because obviously we mentioned the word kind of funnels a lot. When I got introduced to Clickfunnels, just the software in general, it was first of all, it was one of my coaching my mentors, Dr. Dre. Shout out to Dr. Dre, who kind of mentioned that when all businesses needed a process, right, to work with their customers, to move their customers through, their process, their value ladders of such. And obviously make sure you catch last couple week episodes of the value when we talked about the value ladder. So understanding that like every kind of business needed a funnel, once like that opened up my eyes, like the only software that like I felt did everything that we needed to do, especially in a more convenient time, was like ClickFunnels. Now there's others, like we've used Lead Pages at times, we've used other kind of software related things, but ClickFunnels really kind of drove it home for me. And and the fact that their conference was just something that like I just felt like I just needed to kind of be in that environment. That's kind of why we kind of went kind of full steam with ClickFunnels. And when we talk about implementation, it was one of those things where they energized you, right? They got you motivated, and then they said, all right, go and do action, right? Because we go to a lot of conferences, I can tell you, especially from a medical standpoint, right? I'll go to a medical conference, I'll hear some new studies, some new data that comes out, but I don't go really implement what I just learned. Whereas a conference like this, and Maria kind of mentioned it, where you're learning something in the session, like the presenter's not even done like lecturing, and I'm already like, ooh, all right, we got to do this, we got to do that, because like it's such a like breath of fresh air. And mind you, these are businesses. There's people, people with event spaces, people with business credit, people with, selling, what was it like, dog treats and paraphernalia, and like it was just the amount of businesses, that gyms, like a lot of businesses that were out there it did one thing for us that I think was great. Like it showed us like, oh, you can be here too, right? Like you don't have to, kind of put yourself in a box. Like, no, you can be, on stages like where we're on stages. You can have the success you want, as long as you take the action. So I was loving it, because it was, it was one of those times where like Maria was driving me. She was like, no, we gotta like do this, we gotta do this, we gotta like. I think both of us like was answering emails that we probably neglected for like a week or two,
Yes.
just because like the flow was just there.
And I think that was another thing for me, is that the implementation was easy. It wasn't something that was a difficult overthinking process. It was like, oh, if we just change this or move this around, then you'll get more leads, more people will see it. So it was easy implementation, which works for me in the way that my brain works. So it was like, okay, I didn't have to dread doing it because it would take such a long process. It was an easy implementation. And even though it was easy, the impact is great.
Yeah,
So
and I think is no one was great. It was because we could see it so quickly. Like we could quickly see, like, oh, if we just do these changes right here, results will come. Right. And again, I always kind of hark back to my medicine time frames, where a lot of times we make changes, we make suggestions, we may change our actions, but we don't necessarily see the results of those changes we did. Maybe not for a month, maybe for not 3 months, but like being able to see it as immediately as we were seeing it was definitely, a great energy booster. Again, this was just like day one.
Exactly. And that was the energy throughout the rest of the conference. I even had a client session, consultation on that Saturday evening, and I was able to use things that I had already learned in the conference in my consultation session. So the impact was there from day one.
Right. And guys, I'll be honest, especially when we talk about just what the conference did, Funnel Hacking Live, what it did for us, especially from just a business related standpoint, it really just kind of opened our eyes up, especially on my end, right? Where like we start looking at processes, that stuff that we were doing, like, all right, should I still be doing that? Like I added another person, right, to the Pierre Medical Consulting team, right? Because I was like, you know what? Like I shouldn't necessarily be doing like this task. This is a task that I should probably be delegating, because I know if I delegate over here, I can focus more over there, right? So, like I said, it was just like touched all points for us that before. I think we spent 5 days there, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, about
Tuesday through we left Sunday.
Yeah, last Sunday, right? So we were there and then just soaking up, information after information, and the speakers were absolutely phenomenal. Just from motivating, from hard work, from action steps, like everything was kind of to plan. And again, I think that's the way, Russell Brunson, was the CEO of Clickfunnels, kind of likes it, right? He likes that that energy style, and the way the way you kind of get in the mood, because like when I'm bored, I don't typically learn. Right? I don't know about you, right? When I'm bored, like it's just I'm like but like when I'm hyped up, energy, ready to go, even though lecture is at 9 o'clock, I'm there. I'm running, and I've been to conferences where those early sessions aren't very well attended, whereas this one was like everyone was like waiting at the door to run inside the door, which was a funny. Which definitely was a funny experience to kind of see, especially while before the doors are opening, you kind of see people just kind of hovering around the door. By people, we're talking about a couple thousand, right? People just kind of hovering around the door. And the second they open the door, it just kind of like they go running.
Yes, everybody's trying to get to the front. Although we were very comfortable in the back with our mask on.
Yes. So again, those who know, again, COVID is still here, right? So we were masked up in the back, social distance, because again, even though we needed to learn, and I definitely encourage, especially those who are thinking about going to conferences, even though you still want to learn, you still have to practice, your best care, because unfortunately, right, not everyone's going to be social distancing, not everyone's going to be wearing masks. And again, not everyone's going to be vaccinated up, right? Because we just, we're just reality. We know how that is. So, we have to protect ourselves, while enjoying, the information there. So Maria, like before we let you go, what are some things that you learned from the Funnel Hacking Live experience? That's going to help really, propel your business to the next level.
Well, for one, really learning what a funnel does. Usually I leave that all up to you. I just say, oh, I need a funnel for this, and you make it happen. But now I know about all of the things that go into it. Like, okay, well, this is what's going on page one, and this is how page two should do. And here's an opt in that goes over here, just completely revamping a lot of my funnels. So for those of you who are going to be getting consultations and hiring me for speaking and training, you'll see that process that we're talking about now, because we've revamped it, and we made it easier also for you when you're coming to hire me. So it's easier for everybody. So that is probably my biggest takeaway is leading them there, making it easier for them.
Yes, especially as being kind of the tech support of it all. A lot of times you kind of know what you need to do. Like when Maria says, "Hey, I need a funnel," you kind of know what funnel you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But like this Funnel Hacking Live experience was amazing because now it helped me understand why I need to do a funnel on certain points, right? Like I was just I'd make a page, and then thank you. And then, but now it's like, no, this is why this is page one, and this is why this is page two, and this is why this is page three. And just understanding the psychology behind that. Like, again, I think I redid, we kind of doodled out like 4 or 5 different funnels for Maria. I doodled out 4 or 5 different funnels for Pierre Medical Consulting because everything just started to make like sense. And like I knew what I was doing before, but like now I really know what I'm doing now. And I think that's what's probably more exciting, to come, right? Because now it's like, all right, like I can't wait, right, till someone else sees this next funnel, right? Like I can't wait, till they're able to experience and kind of go through this process, from that standpoint there. So before we let you go, Maria, first of all, let's tell all of the the Medicine Monday or our podcast listeners, where can they hear you, see you, if they're interested in working with you, what type of services do you offer, and where can they find those services for you?
Well, you can go to my website, www.autisminblack.org. I'm on Instagram at Autism in Black and Facebook at Autism in BLK. I offer parent consultations. My business is all about Black disability community, specifically autism. So I work with parents who have autistic children, Black parents who are trying to learn a different way, conscious parenting differently, when you have a child who has a disability. And then I also train organizations to be more culturally responsive to the Black disability community. It's a training that I have completely made the curriculum for, and we train you in that, and your organization then, is able to culturally respond to the Black disability community and have, better interactions. So we do that. I also have the Autism in Black podcast. That's number one in a lot of different countries. It charts very well. So make sure to listen to that. And then we also have our Autism in Black conference. We had our first conference this past April, and it definitely succeeded our thoughts of what it could be. So we're really excited about the second one that will be happening in the summer of 2022.
I love it. And again, just thinking about just what the Autism in Black conference did, and all of the stuff that we learned during this conference, we were like, oh, we got to add this. We got to have this support. Like, we know, those who attend that conference are going to love if we add this aspect here. So we're just excited for that. Like I said, I'm probably excited as much as Maria for that conference to come about. Again, those who don't know, again, obviously, if you're watching or listening, you know where to find me, Dr. Barry Pierre. From a business consultation standpoint, of course, I help small business professionals, especially my healthcare workers, kind of manage this digital marketing landscape. I help work with building sales funnels, landing page, even do some email marketing if you want. from that standpoint there. Go book a consultation with me at Pierre Medical Consulting .com. And again, Maria, thank you for joining. For you guys, if and that her voice sounds familiar, she is the familiar voice on the intro of the Lunch and Learn with Dr. Barry podcast. So please make sure you subscribe to her. Obviously, you should definitely be subscribed to mine already, but make sure you subscribe to her podcast. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Again, and if you really do well, maybe we can push her to do some you get on YouTube and do some YouTube stuff too, right? Like I know she's crazy busy, but yeah, it's definitely an endeavor, and I know the people want to see it, right? But again, just a random shout out to you, Russell Brunson and Todd and the people over there at Clickfunnels. Again, amazing conference. Again, we can't wait. With that, we've already got our tickets right for next year, right? So we will be there next year, right? And our goal is 2 comma, right? So we're putting it out there. Our goal is to work hard enough to get a 2 comma. And if we don't, that means we still killed it because we put that effort there. So you guys be blessed. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.